After over 25 years of marriage, we've learned that successful couples have great friendships, put each other first, and focus on light just as much as love. We believe marriage should be fun and easy.
Our goal is to share our journey with the hopes of helping others build strong, happy relationships. Join us as we continue to create our lives beyond I do. Before we get into our episode, we want to share this disclaimer. We are not marriage counselors, nor are we mental health professionals. We simply want to share with you what has worked in our marriage. Now, on to our episode.
Hey y'all, on this episode, we are excited to be joined by Ms. Twila B. Goode, who is a certified clinical sexuality coach and the owner of A Taste of Intimacy Coaching, located in Dallas, Texas.
Welcome, Twila, and thanks for joining us. So we want to get started. We are so excited to have you here. We want to start at the beginning. So if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and about what you do as an intimacy coach.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm excited. And this is right in time for Valentine's Day. So this is perfect. Talk about love and just celebrating all things love this month. So my name is Twila B. Goode. And like you said, I am a certified clinical sexuality coach. And pretty much what that means is I coach couples and individuals on how to have a more intimate and sensual sex life, as well as I coach couples on just relationship coaching, building the foundation of that relationship, or if they've been married for quite some time, how do they navigate this new change? Maybe they're empty nesters, or they don't know how to communicate with each other anymore. So I coach them on those aspects as well as intimacy. I've been doing this for about 3.5 years now. The owner of A Taste of Sex is located in Dallas.
Okay.
And so coaching sessions are online, and then I have intimacy classes that are held in person. Mm-hmm. And so those intimacy classes are with couples in a private and sensual setting. Everyone is fully clothed. So, I always get that question like, is there nudity? No, there's absolutely no nudity there. And what I do in those classes is I do show couples how to touch, how to practice physical intimacy. What does that look like? How do they have those sexual conversations with their partner? And then we go into maybe some kink. They're interested in learning all things that are involving kink and BDSM. Maybe, I do have some clients, the wife, she would like to learn how to ride. Is trying to learn new tips. Maybe she's complaining about her knees hurting. And so I show her different tips on how to ride, as well as fellatio. That's one thing that, women sometimes feel uncomfortable, giving head. And so I give tips on that.
So now we have met with you before this. Right. We've talked. So there's a comfort level. But when you have clients coming in, do you go from, hi, nice to meet you, and let's learn how to ride? How does that transition work? Like, are the couples, do they need time to do you ease them into it, or do you just say, let's go for it?
So the way it works is they've gone onto my website, and 9 times out of 10, it's usually men who are typing in sex therapist or sex coach. Really? And then they'll look at the list of services. And then they will look and be like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to book this service for us. And it's held during the day. So it's like a day date. And so it's for 2 hours. So they already know what they're going in for. Now, what that experience is like, they aren't too sure of that. And so what happens is prior to us actually meeting face to face, I do have consultations with them, and pretty much I vet them, making sure that, first of all, it's safe for me.
Right.
So we have conversations. I get to know them ahead of time, listening to their goals and their challenges. And then we go from there. Then when they actually book the service, I meet them and I have food and I have wine, and we have a mini coaching session before we get into the actual acts.
Okay.
So we sit and we talk. How long have you been married? Do you have children? What type of work are you into? Do you have your room set up and inviting for sex?
Right.
What are your stressors? Because 9 times out of 10, when I start talking to them, it's underlying issues. It's more than just, oh, I need to learn how to ride. It's, I've had this type of health issue, or I don't know how to talk to my partner about certain things. And so we uncover all of that. And we have a coaching session for a moment. And then I walk them over to the living room area. Okay. And I show them how to ride on the bed and the sofa. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm shocked you said like mostly men are the ones to reach out, because I would think that it's the opposite, that they would kind of be the ones being pulled along, whereas the woman would be the one seeking some type of support or help. So that's interesting.
Yeah, not all of the time. Usually men are at a place where they don't know what to do anymore. They've tried this, they've tried that, and their concern is, I don't know how to please my wife. I don't know what to do. I've tried this. She used to like this, but now she doesn't. Okay. And so they're at a loss. And so they're trying to find some type of help. And so they come and talk to me. And then that's when we discover what the real issue is. Okay. Maybe her libido has changed. She's just not into sex anymore. She's gotten older. Her mind is elsewhere, that, sex is not a priority for her. So then I have to really work with her to get her back and give her some tips on how to get that libido back. Why is she not into sex anymore? Is she going through menopause? That'll definitely change it for some women. So yeah, it's mainly men. They are booking the services. Yeah.
I guess I could understand that. The common conversation I'm having with a lot of men, or listening to a lot of men, is the one thing that I hear repeated often is, when we started out, we couldn't keep our hands off of each other. Mm-hmm. And then after 2 years, it's like, I have to beg for it, And now, one thing I want to talk about was, a lot of us men, our education when it comes to sex comes from pornography. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes it's the rough, tough stuff. It's the, we just jab and going at it, jab. And so I think a lot of times when men are imitating those, acts or whatever, that's what they're doing in the bedroom with their spouse. Now, do you find that could be drawing a lot of women away from them sexually because of that, or
it can be. I think all of us, we get some type of sex education from porn. Right. Normally in our households, we don't talk about sex.
Right.
It's not a conversation that we have. We don't talk about healthy relationships. What does that look like? We really don't have those conversations. So we do get the idea of what sex should be from watching porn. Oh, I should sound like this and moan like this. I should put my leg way over here and he should be just pounding, my box all the way out. And so we mimic this, not knowing that's entertainment.
Right.
So if you're young, you are inexperienced, you think that's what you're supposed to do. And it works for the moment. It's fun, it's exciting, because you don't know any better. Right. But when you're younger and you're going through all of that, that's cool for that moment. But as you get older, you start to learn your body more. And you're like, no, I really don't like that. And the confusion becomes, well, you used to. The other part of that is the woman, 9 times out of 10, the wife is not saying, well, I really don't like that anymore. Right. Or if she is saying that, is he really in tune to what she now likes? So it's both parties is involved. So the husband making sure that he is listening to what she is saying. But most importantly, is she truly articulating to where he understands, right. This is what I like now. Oftentimes, I will work with clients and the wife will say, well, he doesn't know my body. Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
Right.
Because I don't even know what that means. If you were to tell me, you don't know my body. Well, I don't, because I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
Right. So what exactly do you want me to know about your body? So you have to be detailed. Do you want me to touch you on your arm? Okay, then how should I touch you on your arm? Do you want me to touch you on your breast? Okay, great. Then how do you want me to touch you on your breast? Whatever that looks like, whatever that is. So that's when both parties need to, talk, have the sex conversations, not have the ego get in the way, not be judgmental, and realize that as you get older, you want to try different things. What you may have liked in your 20s, in your 40s, you may not like that anymore.
Right.
And it's okay to try different things. It's okay to continue to educate yourself on what your partner's needs and wants are. The biggest thing is communication.
Right.
And for it to be effective communication.
Right.
And so that is the biggest challenge. And so women aren't really expressing themselves to where their husband is able to process it and understand it.
Right.
And then once they talk about it, okay, let's actually do it. So she said, don't touch her the way she likes it. Or, you need to touch her on this certain area of her body. Okay, now let's go and let's see, what is she talking about? Okay, she said, touch her here, so I need you to do that. Now what she will then say is, okay, you need to tell him, how does this feel? Don't just lay there.
Right.
In silence.
Yes.
So, and really there's two things that stick out for me that I think can become big issues. And one is the man taking offense to the woman who is expressing likes and dislikes, and maybe taking it personal, taking it as a personal thing. And then the second is a woman who is confident enough to speak up, but also who knows her body enough to know, I like this or I don't like this. So do you encounter that, those dynamics a lot when working with couples?
Oh, yes, very much so. You have the man, the husband, boyfriend who, he's been doing the same movement for quite some time, what have you. And in his mind, everything is fine. He has absolutely no idea.
Right.
Well, what happens is the wife, girlfriend, or whatever, she's not really into that anymore. And so I'll find couples where physically the woman is there, mentally she's elsewhere. She's not truly in tune and being connected with him. Goes back to having the conversation again. Her telling him, and it's how you approach it too. Mm-hmm. You don't want to just start out with a negative and say, oh, you're not doing it right. Well, you don't want to, that's not
right.
Oh, you know what, you're not doing it right. I told you to do this. Like, come on, that's the tone of voice. Right. That's the whole attitude. So he's not going to give it any more thought. He'll eventually shut down and just won't do anything.
Right.
So you want to approach the conversation and say, hey, babe, I love, having sex with you. I like when you touch me, but I'd like for you to touch me right here. Like, that feels really good. I noticed that you do touch me there, but if you could just stay there a little bit longer, that feels really, really good. So you're not tearing the person down.
Right.
You're complimenting them, telling them what you do like whatever it is that they do. But how can they just tweak it a little bit and make it better? And then you can turn around and ask and say, okay, well, do you like it when I do this or do that? So you have to be open and honest. I have a motto, and my thing is, and I tell this to women, if you can open up your mouth and give him head, you can open up your mouth and tell him what's wrong with it.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And
I may not say giving head, I may say the other, but you get the point.
Understood.
Right.
Understood. Because that is definitely something that, I have battled with in our early years. Am I doing things right? Am I, enough? Am I satisfying her? And it sounds like it is when we're in the bedroom, but I don't know. Because there are sometimes I can do one thing this night and she loves it. I can do the exact same thing and I don't get a response or doesn't seem like it's enjoyable. And it took me a while to understand that, it was her communicating with me about her past traumas and things like that that allowed me to further understand, okay, now that's the reason why I'm not getting what I think I should have. And that helped us talk about those things. And once we communicated about those things, she knew I was listening, and it allowed her to say, okay, now I feel comfortable telling you, baby, I like this, I like that.
Right.
So that's I'm learning. Even
that's one of the things that and you've talked about intimacy as in your title, and then you're talking about the sex part of it, but I know for us personally, being able to communicate in that non-judgmental space helped. And then getting to the point where I understood he doesn't just want sex. He wants to have sex with me. And that was a big shift for us, because now I feel like it's not a job or a duty that I'm fulfilling, that he wants to spend time with me. But that came from intimacy outside of sex. So if you could expand on that idea that intimacy goes beyond just that physical.
Oh, yes. And you mentioned two key words. Actually, it was three. One was sexual trauma. So when you're dating or you have moved past the dating stage, now you're going to get married, you need to have that conversation, very early on. I would say even before you say I do, you want to have that conversation about have you had any sexual trauma? Oftentimes, victims, they don't really share. They aren't comfortable with that. But if you know that this is the person that you want to take it to the next level, you want to make sure you talk about it. And at that point, I would strongly suggest that the two of you seek counseling so you can know how to navigate this new chapter in your life. How can you express your sexual needs and wants to your partner who may have had some trauma in the past, because you don't want to create any type of triggers.
Yes.
And so the person that has been traumatized needs to be able to express that to their partner. But that goes back to trusting. That goes back to, it's like an onion, peeling those layers, one layer at a time. That goes back to how that person receives that information, because, that can be heavy for the other person. How do I navigate this with this person that I love? Right. And especially if you've never experienced that.
Right.
So I would say for people that are listening, if you've experienced any type of sexual trauma and you're dating or in a relationship, make sure you talk to them about it. Go to therapy together so you can learn how to navigate the next phase, the next chapter, and continue to go to therapy, continue to talk about it, because as you grow older together and continue to be in the relationship, things do change.
Right.
And so you want to be able to walk through that together. The other thing is that you mentioned sex being a job, sex being a chore.
Yeah.
And, I hate to say this, but a lot of times women do begin to feel like that. Like it's this routine that I have to check off on my to-do list. Oh, it's Wednesday at 10 o'clock. Oh, gotta have sex, which let me go back. Planned sex is not always a bad thing, depending on your schedules. So you may have to plan it out. However, sex should not be considered a chore. It should not be considered a job, because that doesn't make it fun. That makes it monotonous. That makes it stagnant. And it's just like, okay, let me just go on and get, my orgasm. Like, make these few sounds. Like I'm interested, and roll over because I can go to sleep. Because I have stuff to do the next.
Right.
Or let me go on and give him some because he's been bothering me, nagging me for 2 weeks. and let me give them some for a few minutes so I can go ahead and do the dishes. And so you want to change your mindset. So to answer your question, I have a class called Sexual Mindfulness. And what it is getting your mind in tune and getting it prepared for sex. But it starts with non-sexual things. Right. It starts with meditation. Meditation is key. Meditation helps the brain focus and being present and being in the moment. Okay. So it starts with that. It starts with getting those chores done before you go to bed. So you aren't in the moment, or you aren't having sex with your partner thinking about, oh, did I do the dishes? Did I put that bill?
Right.
Did I do this? Because now you're having this checklist go off in your head. So you want to get all of those little things done before you go into the bedroom. The other thing with that is your room inviting for sex? Do you have a pile of clothes on the bed or in the chair? Is it bills everywhere?
Right.
Like, do you have your children in the bedroom?
Right.
Yeah, I talk about creating those boundaries.
We have never even had we don't have family pictures in our bedroom.
Yeah.
We don't have the kids, any family pictures in the bedroom.
I don't want to be going good and look over and see.
And your mama looking at you.
Right.
Like,
I don't, so that's...
I see you. You know, right. I don't have the TV in there. You don't want to have those distractions. Right. If you have your phone in there, put the phone away. This is time for you and your partner. That's intimacy. Right. Doesn't have anything to do with touch.
Right.
It's spending time with each other. It's having those fun conversations in the bedroom. And something else that I tell clients is the conversations that you have in the bedroom should be about the two of you, not about finances, not about the kids. That needs to be at the kitchen table.
Right.
That's true. That's true.
You don't want to bring that into the bedroom. The bedroom, or whatever room you have in your house, should be fun. It should be playful. It should be sexy. It should be sensual. That is what that room is for. So those conversations that are going over finances, careers, kids, that needs to be outside of that room.
I think that we've kind of fallen into that. Yeah. Like I said, now the picture thing, I never wanted that. But the rest of it, just once there was the level of comfort and trust there, it kind of evolved into this is our space. Especially once the kids were gone. Now, before that, when they were still home, it was nothing for us to wake up on a Saturday morning and have kids all surrounding us. And so once that dynamic shifted and we became semi-empty nesters, we kind of evolved into, okay, this is our space. So that's all of those things have helped us to become closer, both inside the bedroom and outside.
And that's a good thing. And what happens is people, like you mentioned, you have the kids in the room. And I have two boys, 17 and 15. And when they were smaller, mommy's room was their room. But I cut that off.
Right.
We're going to have some boundaries. And it's not that they weren't welcomed in my room. It was just that if the door is closed, and, of course, they were old enough at the time. So it's like, okay, I know to knock.
Right.
I'm not going to walk in. Okay.
Don't traumatize yourself.
Right. And even if I'm not doing anything.
Right.
If my door is closed.
Right.
It's to knock, but don't knock and open. It is to knock, wait until I invite you. Because what you're doing is, once again, you're creating a healthy boundary, and it's just a sign of respect. Okay. Right. And so I tell, clients, depending on the kid's age, make sure that they understand that this is our room.
Right.
So when that is closed, you do not enter the room. The same thing is, okay, so you're empty nesters. Now we got to get back to us. What does that look like for us? How do we take time to learn each other all over again? Because for so long, in relationships, the kids will be the priority. The relationship is not. So I tell clients, no. The relationship, two of you, is a priority. It's not saying that the kids aren't, because they are, they just aren't first.
Right.
And that is okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It is absolutely
because once they're gone, it's just the two of you.
Right.
Yeah.
We've been counting.
We've been counting down.
Look, we counted
years, months, like, hey.
People were like, "Oh, you're gonna miss them when they left." No, I'm good. I'm good.
I understand that.
I'm good. And we still have one that's here with us, but she's 22. She comes and goes as she pleases, and we're cool with that.
Yeah.
But when we always put each other first, they have expressed how sad it is that with the choices that they have to choose from, how I will never have what y'all have.
Yeah.
But they knew that we put each other first and we valued that relationship. So that's one of our things that we've always lived by, and I think that's why we're here today talking.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes, and you're showing them, examples how it can look like, and it's all hope is not lost. I know the dating pool can be kind of I don't want to say what I'm thinking, but the dating pool can be somewhat interesting and unique. I'll say that, full of characters.
Yes.
It can be very entertaining. However, there are some really good men and women out there who are looking for genuine connection and want to be in a healthy relationship. So don't give up.
Yep, that's what I've been. We have friends and family members who are single or divorced, and the stories that they tell us.
Oh yes, we could all write a book.
Online dating or just dating in general, and I'm just like, man, thank God I have a wife that I love, and because I can't even imagine not doing that. I was like,
dating can be fun. It can be fun. It's easy. I think a lot of times we can make it complex and hard, but it's easy to say no. If you meet someone and they aren't, no.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and you move on. No time is vested.
Right.
So that's the easy thing, but it's, I don't want to go off on a tangent on dating because we could be here for another 3 hours talking about that, but it really is speaking life into the dating universe, as I say.
Right.
So for the listeners who have joined us, who are excited about the services that you have to offer, because once they get off, they're going to go and find your Instagram. They're going to find all this stuff. What are, I'll say 3 things that they can do after listening to this episode to kind of spice things up, to re-spark so that they can have a wonderful Valentine's Day?
The first thing would be compliments. Compliments go a long way.
Yes.
I compliment your partner. Now with that, learn how to receive the compliment.
Yes.
If your man is complimenting you and he says, baby, you look nice. I love your hair. Do not say, oh, you just saying that. You don't mean that. Do not. Please don't do that.
You didn't have to step on my toe, but okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm work in progress.
The first like, dang, I ain't gonna do that no more then.
Right.
When you get that.
And then the conversation becomes, well, you never say anything about me.
Right.
Well, I did, and you shut it down. So the compliments, compliment each other. Learn how to receive the compliment. Say, I appreciate that. That makes me feel good. Okay. The second thing that you can do is say affirmations. I'm big on affirmations.
Okay.
So this can be one of those intimate, fun times. Take a bath together or a shower and say affirmations to each other and over the relationship. Say, I appreciate you. I'm proud of you. I'm grateful that you're in my life. I enjoy our relationship. I love spending time with you. Saying those things goes a long way. So affirming the relationship, putting those positive thoughts out into the universe creates that positive energy. Okay. I would say that third thing that you can do is, so it's simple, but I think it's nice, is when you go out to dinner, sit next to each other. Don't sit across from each other. Okay.
Yep.
Now, on the next segment, I'll tell you how to be freaky while you do that.
You know what? All right, we're about to get the let's go.
All right, we got to hurry up.
So, yes, just sit next to each other. Caress each other. It's okay to show some type of PDA, soft, gentle kisses while you're sitting next to each other. You can even, kind of hold hands as you're driving to the place. You're in the car, you're holding hands. All of that's that physical touch right there while you are out to eat. Just be teenagers again, just be in love all over again. You really have to think back of when we first started, how we were laughing, everything was fun. That person may have been silly, goofy. We always had a good time. You want to get back to that. So those three things right there, I think would be helpful for Valentine's Day. And Valentine's Day, can be every day.
Yes, it can.
Yes,
it doesn't always have to be this exchange of a tangible object. It can be every day, can be a showing appreciation and love to your partner.
Okay.
And this past October, we did a rekindle your love with your partner. And we offer different tips and different ways to say I love you and different love songs and, dance with your partner and things like that. Because like you said, you get in this routine, and at the end of the day, whether you have kids and you're focusing on kids or you're climbing the career ladder, your spouse is going to be there. And you don't want to stop one day and realize that you are where you want to be in a career, but then you've left the most important person behind, or your kids are gone and you're like, I don't even know if I like him.
Right. Like, look how he breathes. Look how he chews his food.
You got to breathe that much?
Right? Like, you breathe like that? I didn't know that.
I need air too. You gonna take all the air? Right. Yeah. So we don't want to do that. And we want to make sure we feel like there's this like lack of relation, like it's an anti-relationship type thing. And so our goal is just to be a little bit of light, to put a little bit more love out there and share love and let people see that you can have fun. You can, this is my friend, this is my best friend. We of course are partners, but at the same time, we're going to laugh, we're going to gossip. In anything that you do in your friendships, this is my friend.
Right. Oh, I wanted to add one more thing, something that you were saying, it made me think. So I'm going to add this as number 4.
Okay.
What they can do.
Next tip.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Create a vision for your relationship. Sit down, have a vision board party, and create the vision. What do you want? What does that look like? And this gives the two of you a chance to truly uncover, what do you want this next phase, chapter, season to truly look like? What does that vision look like for your relationship in 2024? And even, beyond, do you want to have children? Do you want to travel more? Do you want to have a certain amount maybe saved up for whatever? But what does that vision look like? And I think that's a great opportunity to do that. I know Valentine's Day it's a Wednesday, I believe, this year. And so it's going to be crowded out, at different restaurants. But this is something that you can do this at home. You can have a nice, quiet dinner at home. And then this can be the activity, creating a vision for your future. You can have the magazines, maybe cut some pictures out, or simply get a journal and write down what that vision is and share it with each other. And as you're sharing it, listen. Don't interject, but listen.
Thank you for saying that, because someone over the break after Christmas, we always go on a trip. And so we had gotten a new TV, and there was this big piece of like really thick cardboard in it. And I was like, that's perfect for something. And so I held on to it. And then when we were getting ready to go on our trip, I was like, this would be perfect for a shared vision board. And so because I am who I am, there is a stack of magazines that were already ready. So we had our magazine, I had my colored paper and all the stuff, and we took it. And that was something that we did during the break, is that shared vision board. And he started on one end, I started on one end, and we kind of worked our way together. Mm-hmm. And it was interesting to see how some of the things that we picked were the same things. Mm-hmm. And to me, that was very important. It shows that we have a shared desire to reach the same goal. Yep. And that's important to me. Yep. So
I love it. I love it. And that's something that you can share and talk about.
Yes. Yep. Yes. And now that is in our bedroom.
And that's great. That's a great place to have that. I love that idea. You put it in the bedroom, you look at it every day. When you start to feel that disconnect,
yes,
go back to that vision. Okay, he got on my nerves today. I still love him though. Or she got on my nerves today. I still love her though.
Right.
Let me go back to this vision. Maybe we didn't see eye to eye today.
Right.
But let's go back to the vision. And I love that idea to place that in the bedroom. So I would say let that be number 4 on what you can do for Valentine's Day, is create a vision for your relationship. And even if you're single,
right,
and you are not in a relationship, what does the vision look like for you? What do you want in a partner? And I will say this, people get caught up in, I've read and heard podcasts, 6 feet, 6 figures. I'm just like, what is it? 6 feet, 6 figures. I don't know if it's 6 inches. I don't know, whatever it is. But it's something that, just please be real with yourself.
Right.
You can write down the qualities you want in that person.
Right.
Right.
Respect.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Do they know how to communicate?
Right.
So you want to think about those things when you're putting that on your vision, not always this physical laundry list of things.
Right.
Yes.
Throw that out there.
One thing that we focus on that's important to us is just liking each other. That love thing comes easy.
Yeah, love is.
I love several people that I don't necessarily want to see on a regular basis. But you have to like your partner. You have to have more than just that love there, because love, that one's easy. It's the like that's work.
Okay. One thing before we get into the extra stuff, I wanted you to expound on is, I know we're talking about Valentine's and we're talking about, intimate touch and things like that. But what about the day-to-day, Monday through Sunday? How can couples throughout the day, let's just say, she goes to work, I go to work, we come home, we have dinner. What are some tips in between that time that you can recommend for couples to increase their intimacy?
Ooh, great question. Daily intimacy tips. Okay, so the first thing is how you wake up in the morning. Greeting them with a kiss, forehead kiss, cheeks, lips, before or after you brush your teeth, whatever, floats your boat. Compliments, as you are getting prepared for the day. Before each of you leave, say, you have a great day today, or you will have a great day today. Affirming each other, sending you positive vibes and energy. So that's even before you even leave the house.
Right.
And the only touch was the kiss.
Right.
Hugging is great, but it goes back to articulating that positive energy and that positive light to your partner. Okay, so that's in the morning. Throughout the day, each of you are at work, whatever that looks like. If you're able to text, say, hey, I was just thinking about you. I hope you're having a great day. Maybe some kissy emojis, So, little things like that. Now, you can be really, really playful and fun if you want to have some sexting involved and go into the bathroom and show a little cleavage or something and send that. Hey, why not? You know, you can always say, I sent you something. You know,
you're gonna get tonight, buddy.
Right. This is what you're gonna get tonight. Did you see this? Yeah. So you can always go to the bathroom and do that, you know. That's always fun, you know. And then when you get home, you know, how was your day? You know, and listen.
Right.
Yes.
If your partner is the one that comes home and they don't want to talk at first, they need some time to decompress, respecting them as they do that. That's a part of intimacy. It is just pretty much acknowledging they need that time. They need their quiet time. Okay. No offense to you.
Right.
Now, if you are like that, you want to communicate that to your partner ahead of time. Don't just come home and not talk to them.
Right.
Want to let them know ahead of time, hey, look, you know, when I come home, I just kind of like to decompress for a few minutes. Then I can share with you how my day was. Right. Once you go through all of that, you ask them, you know, how was your day? And, you know, be detailed because we want to know. Mm-hmm. And then say, okay, and listen, well, my day was like this, blah, 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 blah. Truly be in tune as you are talking to each other. You know, don't just be talking and the other person is like, bah, 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 bah. Like, what you say, huh? Right, so you want to be mindful of what that person is telling you. Then you have dinner together. You know, maybe you watch a TV show together. Maybe you read a book, a chapter out of a book after you finish eating. All of those are forms of intimacy. And then you can go to, you know, get to the bedroom.
All right.
Or the bedroom. You know, but all of this is foreplay. All of this, these little things, these little nuances are foreplay. It's, you know, it makes y'all tingly throughout the day. Like, ooh, you know, my man texts me, you know, whatever, or my lady texts me, or whatever, you know, just makes y'all giddy inside. And so all of that is foreplay that leads up to that moment that could possibly happen at night or maybe the next morning.
Right.
I can tell you there's nothing that can brighten a man's day to knowing he gonna get some that night.
Oh yeah. And for some women, knowing that she gonna get some too.
That's right, boy.
Listen, you can always be very spontaneous.
What happened?
You can be spontaneous with it. All of that, you know, if he is watching TV. You can excuse yourself, go to the bathroom, draw him some bath water, and go back to the living room. Just get his hand, and he's gonna be like, "Where are we going?" You don't have to say a word. Just lift him up. Come on. He'll follow your lead. You don't have to say a word.
Yeah.
Take him to the bathroom. Just, you know, disrobe him. Take his clothes off. He'll be like, "I'll tell you one thing. He will be happy."
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
And that's how you get you some.
New generation might frown on this catering now. You know, they took cater to you and made that toxic. I'm like, God, no.
Yeah,
that's love and showing your partner. And if you can't be vulnerable and show your partner love, then you probably don't deserve.
That's right.
Right.
You probably don't deserve to be in that relationship. So
that's right.
Right. Yeah.
Do you have any questions, Miss Mackey?
I think I'm done. I'm ready to get to the good part.
All right.
Baby, we need to talk.
Huh?
Now, let's discuss it.
Is going to be adult only, not safe work.
Yep.
We are going to get some tips. We're going to see some toys. We're going to learn some stuff so that we can really spice it up. So,
okay,
you've been warned.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Well, let's start with. I was looking on your Instagram. I think Sunday's topic was good head.
Oh yes.
Let's start there.
It was. Yes, that was give good head. And so I have fellatio classes, and I had a Zoom session with several women on how to give good head, different techniques, mouth movements, hand movements, and making sure they have enough saliva in the mouth, how to avoid gagging, all of that. So I'm not, I won't demonstrate because, your audience may like, is this OnlyFans? Y'all may
feel free. We didn't warn them.
If I don't, if the giggle reflex doesn't just and so you said there's a group, so they're on Zoom, and see, even in that, I would be like, how do you create that comfort with that? Which I'm asking you that, but we've spoken with you now twice, and I can see how you can ease people into it. And there's a level of clinical there, so that it's very professional sounding when you say giving head. So I'm sure that helps ease people's mind, but I can't even imagine what that Zoom screen looks like.
Oh yeah, it's quite interesting. So, when they sign up for the class, I tell them to bring a toothbrush and their toy, because those are the demonstrations. Even if the classes are in person, same rules apply. I tell them that this is a safe space, no judgment. You're here to learn. We're going to have fun. If you need to relax, because I get it, we're talking about sex. We're talking about, sucking penis. Right. So it's one of those things where whatever your vice is, I have wine. If you want to take time out to get some wine, okay, that's great. But we're all here to learn, right, and have fun at the same time. So it's, it was one young lady, she had the giggles as well. Lovely woman. She was, 56, and it's a space to share stories. Yeah. And so 56, she had been divorced, and she is getting back out into the scene again. She is interested in this gentleman, and she wants to learn how to, please him. No shame in that. Right. Respected. The other young lady, married 20 years. She was on to learn different, techniques. And so we're sharing. And so we have the conversation like we are now before we get into any techniques. Okay. And so then we get into the techniques.
I'm just so glad that you are a resource for individuals, and that we are at a point to where we can be open and honest about sex and about what goes on in the bedroom. And I want to please my man. I want to make sure that he is satisfied, versus trying to hide it or making things inappropriate.
Yeah. Right. Or just not saying anything at all, going with the flow, but not really enjoying it. Because one thing is, it needs to be pleasurable. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's the whole experience with that. So with the giving head, so can I show my toy, or is that okay? Yes. Okay. So this is my friend. All and right. So this is what I demonstrate on. Uh-huh. And so before we even get into the techniques, I go over the anatomy of the penis, because in my mind, the penis is a work of art. Okay. Like, and, depending on who it's attached to, is oh,
you know what?
Let me tell you, because you just can't.
All right.
So I had a flashback of my boyfriend right there. When it is attached to the right person that is for you, it can make the experience so much more enjoyable, because you are doing this because, for one, you like to do it. Let's start there. It starts with a positive attitude. Right. If you don't like to do this, that's fine. But if you truly have to enjoy it, because if it's any type of negative energy, oh yeah, then the head game is not going to be good at all. At all. Right. So you want to start out with a positive attitude. So I talk about that. I talk about the anatomy. The sensitive area is right here at the head. It's 4,000 nerves right here at the head. Okay. All right. So I talk about, how to suck, how to kiss here, talking about the shaft. I teach them how to suck and lick and kiss the shaft. The frenulum is this area right here. That's going to be that real sensitive part. He's over there nodding his head. Yes. It's that sensitive area right there. So I talk about this. So I do all of this before we even get into opening our mouths and seeing how low can we go.
Okay.
And I talk about, size. Just like every woman, every guy is different, girth and length. So some men are more girthy, they're wider. Mm-hmm. Some men may have more length. I call them skinny dicks. Skinny penises.
Hey, keeping that.
Or they may be both, where they have the girth and the length. Okay. And then I talk about the balls. Mm-hmm. Some men like for them to be sucked, caressed, juggled in the mouth. Some men may not like that. So you want to make sure that you ask him, right? Do you like for me to kiss, your balls? Some men may say no. That's because it's a sensitive spot. Yes. So you want to be careful when you are down there. And then I go into some mouth exercises. I have my handy dandy toothbrush, and I show them techniques on how to use this to avoid gagging. I have a playlist because you want to get mentally prepared for that. Okay. And then I just go into the different Twila techniques.
All right.
Then I go talk about swallowing and spitting. I'm team swallow, but I'm only team swallow if your diet is right. Right. So then a conversation about the foods that you're eating. Right. Because no woman or no man, if it's in a same-sex relationship, wants to taste funky spunk at all.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I do not want funky jism juice.
That's something that that's something that I didn't know. But there's a urologist I follow on YouTube. She's an Indian woman. You've probably seen her, but she has great information on that type of stuff. And I'm like, man, I didn't even know nothing about my junk until.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Right. Yes. And that's what, like, sitting here listening to you and listening to the information and how you're presenting it to clients, it's like a whole new world for people. I can't imagine how it feels to learn these things and then to be able to go home and practice and all this other stuff with this new knowledge, because that to me is powerful. That knowledge is powerful. Yes. And so you mentioned toys earlier. When you have men and women come in, you're referring to toys, are you meaning for just women or just men? Do you have couples who come in together to learn? Because I know that even like with women directing men to what they like, that's another area where it can hurt the ego if a woman says, well, let's try this.
To answer your question, when they come together, so if you picture this, and if the listeners go to my Instagram, they'll see where I have classes. So the classes are held, like I said, in Dallas, and the space is a sensual, erotic space, okay? It is full of erotic arts on the wall, and we call it the red room because it is in red, okay? So we have like sex furniture. When I say that, we have like certain sofas that are designed for different positions when it comes to sex. We have a spanking bench. We have floggers. We have paddles on the wall. We have suspension play where you can be suspended in air. So we have a lot of different toys and I'm not gonna say things, but I guess there's things, different things that you can try to spice up the sex life, okay? And so that is throughout the room, okay? And so when they get there, first of all, they're like, oh my gosh, what am I getting into? I had no idea. Like, what are we getting ready to do here?
Instagram, I was like, man, is that her living room? I mean, I knew it was a place, but I'm like...
Right. And so it's designed that way. Yes, it's designed that way so you can get this, so you can be comfortable for one thing. Right. And so you can probably take some of these ideas and create that extra room, in your house to be your sensual sex space. And so we have all of that in there. So when they get in there, they're looking around, we give them a tour, and they're like, oh my goodness, like I never thought about this, or I never thought about that. Yeah. The biggest thing is the education on how to use these different toys. We talk about consent. We talk about safe words. You could be married for 30 years. I still need consent,
right,
to do this particular act. Right. We still need to have a safe word. So I talk about all of that before we even get started with anything. So, I ask them consent, can I touch your arm? Because you're not getting ready to sue me.
Right.
So I make sure I have that. And then I show them the different toys. So one of the toys that I showed in the video was, now I'm into kink. And so when you're into kink, it's how you can be turned on, but you don't necessarily need this particular act or device or toy to have an orgasm.
Okay.
It's pleasurable for me. I enjoy it. It's stimulating. Now, in terms of BDSM, which is a little bit different, that is where it's more of an energy exchange. Okay. So for the listeners, when it comes to BDSM, if you think of 50 Shades of Grey, that's one end of that.
Okay.
Okay. So BDSM is going to be your bondage, dominance, your discipline, being submissive. Okay. And being a sadism or sadomasochism. Okay. So pretty much all that sums up in very few words is, do you like to be restrained?
Okay.
Do you like to be more dominant in the bedroom, meaning that you have more of this take control, dominant energy? And do you like to be more of a submissive, where you tell me if you tell me what to do, then I'll do it. Okay. That's being a sub. Okay. And then when it comes to sadism, that's the person who is inflicting the pain on that person. Okay. So maybe that's your thing. That's what you like to do. That turns you on. All right. And then sadomasochism is the person that's receiving the pain. They like the pain to be inflicted on them in so many, the different levels of pain. Okay. For me, I like a little bit of pain, not a lot, just a little, but I do like it.
Now, you said kink. So you explain the BDSM. What exactly is kink?
So kink is one of those things where you can wear your kink out loud. So for some people, they may wear a collar.
Okay.
And that's their kink. Okay. It's pleasurable to them. They like it. It's stimulating to them. So they may wear a collar. They may wear, depending on what it is, maybe like a corset. Okay. They're expressing themselves with their kink. For me personally, I like to wear a collar, just because, I think it's sexy and it's cute and it's fun.
And it's not necessarily the physical, it's more of the like emotional and mental space that it puts you in. Okay.
Right. Okay. Right. It could be where,
like before.
It could be where your kink could be, you like to wear fishnets.
Okay.
Like that just, that stimulates you, mentally. Like you like to wear those fishnets, or you like to wear the very, very high heels. All of that is being, kinky.
Okay.
So that's how, if you hear the phrase wearing your kink out loud, then that's what that is.
Okay. That makes sense.
Now, in the bedroom, that kink for me turns into a little bit of kink as well as bondage. I like to be restrained, meaning that I like handcuffs, ropes. I like to have, my sense of sight taken away because I don't know what to expect.
Right.
Wow. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
That just made me a little bit anxious. I'm coming towards
in a good way. That's your homework tonight. Blindfold.
We'll see.
That could also be if you're going into wax play. I like to have hot wax poured on me. It stimulates me. It's just, I don't know, it's just very, very
tantalizing to me. It's mind blowing to me because I'm like, it's a lot of extra work. It's a lot of stuff going into this. I don't know about all this.
And it doesn't have to be in one setting.
Right.
So I tell my boyfriend, bring the goodie bag when you come. And he already knows what that means.
Okay.
But it can be very, very playful. You can use, like, this is a candle that I have, and it's safe for the skin.
Okay.
But it turns into a massage oil.
Okay.
So if you're pouring this on your partner,
you buy at the store.
No, please don't buy it at the $1.25 store.
Okay. Or Bath and Body Works.
Oh, you have third-degree burn.
Okay.
Please don't.
Okay. Thank you for that clarity. Because I'm sitting over here thinking, if he burns me, that's another game that's going to happen.
No. We don't want that. Okay. So when you're doing, any type of wax play, it's the soy wax is good.
Okay.
And this is a really good one because what it does, it just turns into massage oil. Okay. So, it's not a lot of work. It's one of those things you're pouring this on this person and you're just rubbing it into the skin, creating this massage. And that's all it is.
Okay, that
sounds great.
Right.
Yes.
Because, like when I look at the movies and stuff like that, and they've had this intimate thing going on, they're always using that old candle that's been sitting on the dining room table, I ain't doing that.
Yes. No. So you don't want that. So these are by Bear Claws.
Oh, I saw those on Instagram.
Yes.
Right.
And yes, these are meat straps.
Yeah.
That's all this is.
What you doing?
So if you think of Wolverine.
Oh my goodness.
But it comes in plastic and it comes in metal.
Okay.
So when you are using this on your partner, it creates a different sensation on the skin because the skin is one big sensitive organ on the body. Okay. And so when you are using this on the skin, it can feel very different. The arms, the back of the neck, going down to the lower part of the back, the thighs, the legs, all of this. So Bear Claws are always fun. I like these. If you're into a little bit of pain, creating that stinging sensation, kind of like a needle. Yeah, you just depend on the pressure.
Wow.
Just grazing the skin.
Wow.
So yeah.
See that
is right here
on my back. That would put me right to sleep.
Is that the plastic?
Right.
Okay.
And now the metal's going to feel a little bit pricklier because it is metal with the points. But all of this is what I would go over in class on, how to touch your partner using different items.
Right.
Okay. And they try it out to see, oh, I really like that. That feels really, really good against my skin. Wow. And so I have like this little bag that I have, and we just have fun and play with different toys.
Wow.
That's sensational. I mean, look, some of this stuff, like
I want to take a class.
I've never even thought about, like,
But I would giggle the whole time.
I'm one to be like, I'll try it at least one time.
Okay. So I can haul off and hit you.
Now, she been messing with me for a little while, and I'm gonna be real. She been talking about, well, maybe you can take some pegging. I'm like, I ain't doing that now. That's not.
Well, you know what? That's another show. That is another show.
When it was when Steph Curry's parents split up. There was this viral tweet that went around where this guy is like, just go home. And he said, they pegging out here. And so after that, that's been my thing. And I'm like, you know what? It's just a little poke. Just a little poke. No. Let's try it. You never know.
And it's the prostate. So that's why it's so stimulating for men, because that's their G-spot. Mm-hmm. So if you can massage it, and it's called massaging the prostate, you can massage that and a man can truly have an orgasm. And so when it comes to anal sex, if you are going to peg, lubrication, that is a conversation you want to have way ahead of time, because that's a different world. That's a different energy right there for a woman to wear a strap on or to have a dildo or a vibrator to insert in the anus of a man is something that needs to be had. The conversation, anyway. The conversation needs to be had. Mm-hmm.
It posted on different social media like groups, like, and that's when we usually have fun with it, because we're part of this one group, and it's married life and it's uncensored, so it's like you can post questions anonymously or whatnot.
Right.
And so somebody posted in the thing about pegging one day. And some of the, of course, most of the men were like, "Nah, I ain't with that." But it was a lot of the women were like, "Yeah, I want to try it." Or some women actually said, "My husband, has tried it before."
Mm-hmm.
So it's an interesting take on that.
And that all goes back to in the first segment when we talked about being comfortable, and then you've provided a space, and we need to learn how to communicate about sex. It doesn't need to be a taboo topic, because what you like.
Yep.
And if it's not involving me, then it's none of my business.
Mm-hmm.
And I should respect your likes and your dislikes, and you should respect mine. So I'm glad that you are providing this space to not only feel comfortable, but to learn more, and to you're sharing with us now. And it's okay that, there are these things that are maybe outside of the norm that you enjoy with your partner and things. So I'm just thankful that you have created this space, and that you are here sharing this information with our listeners. We appreciate that.
Yes.
All right. So did you want to ask your question?
Oh, my question now.
Do you remember it?
Yeah. Vaginal tips for the men who think they know what they're doing and may or may not know what they're doing. What are some?
So, for tips on loving and kissing the vulva area. So those lips. So this is my friend. And so I use this for, demonstration with showing anatomy. So basically the outer lips. So the tips are the outer lips. You want to suck and kiss, maybe gentle, just blowing on it very gently, like what have you. Then you can use the tongue to work your way around the area, navigating your way around. If you're going to use your fingers, make sure that your nails are, trimmed, no hangnails, because that can hurt.
Yes.
Okay? So when you're down there, you're navigating your way, really kissing, and just, the clitoris is really, really, really sensitive. Okay. Now the clitoris, which this is the clit, all of this is a clitoris. Okay. But the only part that you see is this right here.
Oh,
all of this is inside of the woman. And so at the end of the day, the clitoris is pretty much like a penis. You got the balls right here and the head right there.
Okay.
Right?
I've heard that.
Right. Now the clitoris has 10,000 nerve endings. So if you're going to get on anybody's nerves, get on this nerve right here.
That's the right one, baby.
That's the right one. So when you're down there, and every woman is different, some clits are out, some are in. Okay, I call them innies. Some lips are longer, some lips are not as long. That's okay. But when you get to the clit, it's really just maybe a circular motion with your finger or with your tongue. Sucking on it, licking on it, just being very gentle with it. Now, every woman is different. She may want you to go harder, faster, slower. That's when you got to, pick up on those cues. But the biggest, tip is to learn her and what she likes. Because every woman's playbook is different.
Right.
Knowing her body, paying attention. I know you're down there and the head is muffled. Yeah. But, if she's telling you don't stop, stay right there, you might want to stay right there.
Right.
Whatever motion you're doing, she's enjoying that, because that is letting you know that she's probably getting ready to climax and have an orgasm. But the biggest thing is, you can, before you even start to kissing on the lips, just going down there and just taking your finger and just, running across the lips, just circular motion. Not necessarily fingering her, but just paying attention to the lips. It's like a roadmap. Like, where is this journey going to take me? Then you can start to kiss the lips soft, gently. Okay. During this time, ask, this? How does this feel? Making her relaxed and comfortable. Okay. Then use your tongue. Once again, hygiene is key.
Yes.
Please make sure you don't have any mouth sores. Please make sure that, you don't have any mouth sores or any sores around the mouth.
Right.
Once again, fingers, make sure those nails are clipped. If it's, two women together and maybe the person has, fingernails, just be cautious of that. Maybe you have a handy dandy glove that you've cut out and maybe you have like 2 fingernails and the other nails aren't long, whatever.
Right.
You gotta be creative when you're down there. And just paying attention to your partner's body language and how they're moving. You can tell if those legs starting to tremble. She's starting to shake. Maybe she is really enjoying it and she's getting ready to come.
Right.
Women, hygiene is key.
Yes.
Yep.
They can smell you a mile away if you stink.
You know what?
it was an interesting post on that same Facebook group where some people were saying wash before, and some men were actually like, I like all day walking around vagina. And I was like, what?
Now, it depends on where she's been walking.
Right.
Because we all have...
She was walking.
Right. We all have our own scent.
Right.
And we have a scent that's natural, not necessarily pungent or funky. It's just we all have a natural scent. We do. My thing is, if it's pungent, you can, that can come off as loud and foul way before he even goes down there.
Yep.
So you want to make sure that you are clean, that you have properly washed the lips, pull back the head of the skin of the clit, because sometimes the clit may have that little skin over it. And so you pull that hood back and, you get her. You wash her properly.
Right.
She doesn't need a whole lot. She doesn't need all these different fragrances, some warm water, whatever body wash that you may use. And you're going to wash just those lips. You don't need to wash up inside of her.
Right.
Wash, the lips. And but hygiene is key. Also, another thing is if a woman is on any type of medication, it can affect her juices. Okay. So you can be on antibiotics for one thing, but sometimes it can affect the juices. So, just be aware of all of that. But those are tips I would say for if you're going down there to study your partner, navigate that pleasure mapping is what I like to call it.
Right.
Use your fingers, make sure that those nails, no hang nails. Use your tongue, listen to what, she's telling you.
Right.
And that the clit is very, very, very sensitive.
I'm just going to say it, Twila. Take a damn bath and wash your hands.
Oh my God.
Make sure that the night is right, because what you don't want to do is be funky in any kind of way. That will throw the mood off. You don't want
wash each other.
Dirty nails.
There you go. There you go. Wash each other.
Wash each other. Lift his penis up, get the balls, wash him real good, get all of that.
That's right. That's right.
And you mentioned medication, and that's something that, and it comes with knowing your body, for one. But I had a medication that I was taking for depression, and probably about 2 weeks in, I realized there was a difference in my body. And so I had to put on my big girl panties and go tell my doctor, look, I'm taking this for depression. It's not working properly. So I'm even more depressed. We got
Was your coochie depressed too?
Yes, that's what I mean. It wasn't working properly.
Right.
And I'm like, look, I was depressed before, but now I'm really upset because
and now she's depressed.
Right. Yeah. She not doing what she's supposed to do. And it was a male doctor, but that was something that if I'm being treated for depression and then there's something else added to it, what good is it to? So I went and we talked, and he was able to change the medication. And he said that's a side effect that some people have. So we'll try this. So when you said medication, that made me think of that. Yes. But I know my body. I know what my body is capable of. I know how to get to where I'm going with my body. And because of that, I knew, okay, I started this 2 weeks ago, and now we can't get to our destination properly. We got to fix this, sir.
Yep. Right. And those are the conversations, that you have. So you mentioned, two good things: knowing your body. Something's not right.
Right.
What has changed within this time frame? Oh, I'm on this medication, or oh, maybe I tried this new food, or oh, I took this out of my diet. And so you want to be aware of how your body is changing. If you are, trying any type of medication to prevent one thing, it can create havoc, if you will, in other areas of your body. The same with men. You can be taking one thing, next thing you know, the erection isn't there.
Right.
Is it affecting that blood flow? What's going on? And so you need to learn yourself, know yourself, and express that to your doctor.
Right. Don't let that become an issue. Speak up. Talk to the doctor.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So we hate to do it, but it's time to come to an end.
Okay.
This has been wonderful. So if our listeners want to find you and get more information and learn about your services, where do they need to go?
So you can go to my website. It is twilabegoode.com. And so all of the services are there. The classes, the coaching sessions are there as well. I ask that you follow me on Instagram. And my Instagram is Twila, TWILAB.GOODE. So you can follow me on there for postings on sex tips. Try to go live every now and again. But yes, please follow me on Instagram. Check out my website. I am in the process of creating my YouTube channel, and that will be Sexologist in the City. Oh, wow. And so that is where I will have conversations such as this. We talk about all things sex, relationships, dating, everything. Yeah.
Tuning in.
So I noticed on your Instagram you have the the live session with two other guests you normally have.
Yes.
Access that. Is that access through your website?
That will actually be on YouTube. So I'm changing things around a bit. One of the young men, he is in Canada, so we'll have him streamed in. And then the other young man, he's in the DFW area. So we're going to be changing things up again for A Taste of Twila, Sexologist in the City, and that will be later on in the month of February.
All right.
Yes, coaching sessions. I'm taking new clients, so you can go to my website and check it out. You can always email me if you have questions. If you want to book a consultation, you can do that as well.
Okay. And we will make sure that we have everything posted also.
Yes.
And we are so thankful that you have joined us.
Check some of your stuff out, because after this conversation we've had, I'm interested to learn more about myself and her.
Yes. You know what? I would be happy to talk to you guys.
We have enjoyed this. If we ever come to Dallas, we might have to come and visit the living room. If you come
to Dallas, you would probably be the only person I'd be coming to Dallas for. I think,
we're on a boycott from
Texas. We're on a boycott from Texas right now. So
oh, okay.
We will look you up if we come.
But I want to see the living room.
Oh yes, you guys will love it.
I want to see the red room.
Yeah. So you'll love it. You will love it. You will love it.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Yes, it's been a blast.
Maybe we'll have you back so that we can share stories about the listeners and their Valentine's escapades. Who knows?
Oh, yes. I'd love to be back.
All right. Well, thank you so much.